right, we are live. We are live and back for the Nets versus the Sixers game 16. It is, well, the Nets who are 6-9, the Sixers who are 2-12. And Jesus Christ, the Sixers are in a bit of a rocky place at the moment. Let's just say that. This is their starting five. Oubre, Martin, Yabusele, Maxey, and McCain. They're missing Embiid, who was ruled out today with injury management, and Paul George hyperextended his knee again, so he is out for 2 games, and I think he's already been out for 1. So the Sixers are going to have to run with what they've got available. Meanwhile, the Nets are overcoming the injury bug as the Sixers get hit with another tough break. Claxton is back, but he's coming off the bench again as Ben Simmons starts again. Voice crack. Jesus Christ. Ben had 10 points, 9 boards, and 5 dimes, I believe. Couple steals, a block. He was really good against Charlotte. So he holds his spot, and Cam Thomas is back in the team, which I am very excited about because every time Cam Thomas plays, it's always intriguing to see how he's going to cope this time, because you always get something different thrown at you every game, and it really feels like Cam Thomas has done a good job of overcoming the adversity he's faced at stages this year. And then there's games where he's just had the ball on a string and he's gotten everything his way. So I'm pretty excited to see how this sort of goes down, because the Sixers are playing like dog shit. Their record would indicate exactly that. And last year, the Nets actually won 2 of the 4 meetings against Philly. However, both of those wins were without Joel Embiid. So history would suggest that, playing a Sixers team without Joel Embiid is going to result in a W. But really, they've just had no one available, to be quite honest. Maxey's been out for a fair chunk of games. I think it's actually probably worthwhile taking a quick look to see what their injury bug's looking like, because it's a lot of players have missed a lot of games for this stage of the season. Oh, well, I don't think it's a lot of players, but it's the players that you really can't afford to be having face injuries at this stage of the year for a team that's structured like this. I cannot find... Here we go, 24-25 season. So the Sixers have gotten... Well, the only guys to play every game is Martin, Oubre, McCain, and Yabusele, who are not the players you want. And Joel Embiid's played 4, Paul George has played 8, Maxey's played 8. So missing, well, for them, nearly half, like having your 3 best players miss half the games, it's not gonna end in anything too good. So at the end of the day, they've had to make do. But overall, the Nets, I think it's probably about time we talk about them a little bit. They won the other day against Charlotte. And most of the offense down the stretch was played through Trendon Watford, which was an interesting sort of tactic there by Jordi Fernandez. But I think he wanted to throw something a little bit different at Charlotte. They probably weren't anticipating that to be the go-to option at the end of the game. And they ran a lot of the offense through him, knowing that Charlotte had brought on Trey Mann for offensive purposes, because they were playing, they were in a position where they were losing, so they needed buckets. But on the defensive end, Trey Mann was getting cooked. I think I remember him getting out rebounded by DFS via courtesy of a switch that had him under the basket. And then, of course, he was bodying up Trendon Watford in the post. So really, he was going to get cooked every single time, because that extra bit of physicality we had, that extra bit of offense we got through Watford, that was really imperative to the way the Nets played late in the game. Some other key performances, I mean, it was the Cam Johnson legacy game the other day. 34 points, 6 threes made. He was 11 of 20. He went to the free throw line for 6 free throws and made them all. Like it was almost a flawless performance aside from the 5 turnovers, but a lot of those, went out of the way in the first half. So second half, he was much cleaner with the ball in hand, and he was making shots at an equally efficient rate. So that second half is exactly what we needed after that very, very poor start where we conceded 37 points in the opening quarter. So he was big, but he wasn't the only wing that was massive. Dorian Finney-Smith hit 4 threes again, and he scored 16. Jalen Wilson, you can see his stats just coming off your screen right now. 6 of 13 from the field, but 5 of 8 from 3. So he hit 16 points as well, or 17 points. And he was also incredibly important. Those wings really came through with Cam Thomas out of the team. So we had all 5 starters in double figures, and I don't think that's happened all season. So that is exactly what the performance from the Nets required when Cam Thomas was missing. It was, you still needed that lead man, but you needed everyone else to fire on all cylinders. And like Ben had his best game of the season. Schroeder had 14 and 12, so not his best game because we've seen better, of course, this season. But he still was a heavy contributor to a lot of net points. And then those wings, as we've mentioned, were just absolutely brilliant, especially from 3. When you look at the percentage of threes we made in the game, compared to how many threes they made up for the majority. So it's not even close. The game's not even close if those wings don't rock up. Well, Cam Johnson for a start. So Cam Johnson's playing really, really good basketball. I don't know what his stat is this season, or stats are this season. Make sure to say hello in the chat, by the way, if you have just joined us. Cam Johnson's stat line is very, very interesting. 18 points a game, 4 rebounds. His shooting splits 48% from the field and 39% from 3, 91% from the free throw line. So he's almost scoring every free throw by default. And we look at his stats from this year compared to last. And last year he was shooting 4 percentage points less from the field. His 3-point percentage was actually very similar, but this year he's actually taken him at the highest volume of his career. 8 threes a game, and he's still making it at 39%, which is awesome. And he's also shooting the highest field goal percentage from 2. He's never gone over 58%, and that was in his second season. And he's going at 62% from on 2s this season. So even his effective field goal percentage, I'm not going to be like a super stat nerd here, but he's almost averaging his career best for effective field goal percentage as well. And the only time he really comes close to that or exceeds that is the season he was at Phoenix and then got traded to Brooklyn. So that little Phoenix stint there. So he's having a career best season for points per game, which is pretty nuts to think. Given last year, he looked a complete write-off almost. So that is the situation as it currently sits. Those in chat, welcome. Hope you're all having had a stellar day, or your day must just be starting now. We've got Claxton returning in case you've missed. Clax is returning. Cam Johnson starts with Ben Simmons, who will hold his spot over Claxton. Cam Thomas returns into the starting lineup. Schroeder and Finney-Smith, of course, are constants. And then for the Sixers, they've had some more shifting moves, which means that you will see Yabusele start with Martin Oubre, Tyrese Maxey is available and fit, but Joel Embiid and Paul George are not. So the Nets playing a shorthanded Philly roster. We get this one underway, and the Nets will get into it. So we're playing a very undersized Philly team here, and so I want to see a bit of physicality going inside. Try hit the paint, score a lot of twos. That's what we want to see. Simmons gets inside. He's going to back down Martin, shoot with the right hand, and it rims out. Did a nice little 360 there on the rim, but didn't want to go down. The Nets are 1-1. This is an NBA Cup game. So the Sixers at 0-2 probably are out of this. They're playing for pride, but playing for wins that matter in the regular season. Maxey on the outside. 6 to shoot. Flings it to the corner. Oubre 3. It's off. The rebound was nearly chased up there by Yabusele, who came from the rear vision mirror and wasn't able to collect the rebound. So the Nets get into a set. It's Schroeder who will give it out to Ben up top. Playing the point forward, of course. Getting a few boos in there. Thomas gets inside the step back 2, falling away. That hits back iron. And so maybe there's a bit of rust to erase after that little 1-game absence. Maxey falling out of bounds. Was able to feed it to Yabusele, who gets inside, but was fouled on the pass. And Schroeder or Johnson will be the men who pick up the foul. One of which. So, first minute of this match between the 2-12 Sixers and the 6 wins, 9 losses Nets. Yabusele 3, catch and shoot is good. The Sixers are on the board, and the Nets are going to get into offense really quickly here through Ben, who's incredibly deceptive when he sprints up the court and actually does nothing with it. He fumbled the entry pass. The Sixers run in transition. Maxey will be the extra out number, and they score in transition after that turnover by the Nets. So 5-0 Sixers. Second minute of the game. It's Schroeder who loses the ball as he fell to the ground, but Maxey will be hit with the foul as I believe he tripped him up. So Maxey's first personal there. First team foul on the Sixers. Thomas will trigger in right in front of the net bench. Schroeder on the wing, guarded by Maxey. The screen set by Simmons. Cross court to Finney Smith on the wing. It was a rim grazer that was heavily misdirected, and the Sixers will get the rebound. So they have a chance to get off to a pretty rapid start here. Yabusele's high arcing 3. The Rainbow J's good. And the Sixers have the first 8. Yabusele's got 6 of those 8. 2 threes. And that's going to be another foul as Schroeder picked up his dribble again. So it's going to be on Oubre and not Maxey. So 9:46 left in the first. The Nets still remain scoreless. It'd be great if we could just get a bucket. That'd be nice. Something to cheer about. Thomas in the corner, guarded by McCain. Nice little hesitation move, and he scores on the baseline for 2. The Nets have got their first bucket of the game. 2.5 minutes in, and the Sixers will get into a set. Martin brings the ball up. He's going to drive on Finney Smith, the backdoor cut by Oubre, and what a surprise that Ben didn't track the run. And Oubre will score and get the +1. The Nets get into a huddle because they need to lock in. That's shocking defending by Ben, just completely lost. Oubre snuck up from behind, and Ben was guarding space. He wasn't guarding the man. So, Oubre will convert the free throw. The Sixers off to a flyer here. Nearly 3 minutes elapsed, and they've already got 11 points. 11-2, to be exact, is the score line. Simmons on the outside will feed Thomas. Schroeder will drive, but is well held by McCain. He's going to cross, drive in, pass to the corner. Johnson, beautiful. Love that. First 2 points of the game for CJ. Martin, the driving kick. Yabusele is open again, And what is Ben Simmons doing, bro? Oubre with the putback dunk. That's the second or third occasion Ben has not been physical and boxed out. He's looked to just grab the rebound. He hasn't boxed out the man first, and he's just allowed a wide open run and jump for the opposition to get those extra second chance points, or that extra opportunity for second chance points. There's an offensive foul on Oubre. And Cam Thomas got completely bowled over, and he's going to take a second before Schroeder helps him up. Like, Ben is just ball watching. You've got two men under the basket. Sacrifice yourself. Sacrifice yourself so the extra number under the basket can get the fucking ball. Thomas, feed out to Johnson. 3, that's good. Second try of the game. First make. CJ's got 5. And Cam's going to pick up Martin full court as well. So he's doing a bit of everything this season so far. Defensively, offensively, you love it. Martin held up well. Oubre gets it in the corner. Gives it back to Martin, who hesitates, shoots the 3. And that was disgusting. An air ball. Johnson is shooting in the last 12 games 43.5% from the 3-point line after shooting absolutely poorly in the first 3 games. Simmons on the wing. Johnson bounce pass to Finney-Smith down the middle. The layup is good. Love that. And the wings are starting to get a little bit involved. It's a good thing these wings are actually holding their own because it relieves the pressure. You know, Cam Thomas doesn't have to focus as much on scoring the ball. Really, Martin's 3 rims out and the rebound by Ben Simmons, who will bounce past it to Finney-Smith, but he wasn't ready for it. And the Sixers have a 3-on-1, a 4-on-1. The Nets don't look all that excited about getting back. And I would not be one bit surprised if Geordie calls a timeout on that, because that was shocking transition defense. That was pathetic right there. A 4-on-1 fast break, and no net looked like they really were interested in getting back, as I just said. Like, that was pretty diabolical. Like, I had a full vision of that. Just absolute blasphemy is what they'd call it. I don't know who they is, but anyway. Box score time, baby. 5 points for CJ early on. Love that. And a dime as well. Love that. So CJ getting involved early with a few contributions on the score sheet, but defensively, it's just more the same from the other day, isn't it? I mean, the Hornets started off very fast last time out against the Nets, where they scored like 17 in 3 minutes. And they were making some difficult shots, but look, I'm not all that happy with what I'm seeing at the moment. 3 3-pointers for the Sixers in under 5 minutes. And the Sixers are shooting the ball pretty well. The Nets aren't doing too bad, but they're getting absolutely flamed from the outside. And that's where you're seeing the main point of difference. Couple second chance points as well for the Sixers. So, man, you got to fix these issues. Because right now, it's coming far too easy for them. Thomas has got an early 2. Finney-Smith has also got an early 2 as well. But at the moment, a couple turnovers letting us down. And as I said, the defense, the perimeter defending is just a little bit lackluster. I mean, there should be no... there's no excuses early in the game. Because it's not like they have... Like, there's no reason to be sagging off and playing drop coverage. If they're going to play 5 out, respond by defending on the outside. Like, I don't know why we're sagging off some of the shooters. So, 16-9 is the scoreline early on in this first quarter. 5 or so minutes into the match, 16-9 is the scoreline. If you are enjoying, make sure to drop a like and subscribe if you are new. We will be back for Nets versus Kings. It'll be the first of 3 games, a 3-game road trip on the West Coast. It'll be the Kings, the Warriors, and the Suns all in a 4-day block. So fair bit of travel upcoming for the Nets, so that's important. It's important that we get the win tonight. Because I just want to win. Like, losing tonight would be a bit painful. Johnson, pump fake. Love that. I mean, the defender was absolutely at sea there. Johnson had a fair bit of space, and all he needed to do was wait for the defender to drop by. Did that, the space opened up. He scored the floater, and now we will play defense. 5-point lead for the Sixers. Gordon down the middle, blocked by Thomas, but he must have fouled beforehand, and 2 free throws will come up for Eric Gordon. So that's probably the perfect matchup for Cam Thomas there, because I don't think Cam Thomas is going to get burnt by Eric Gordon on the drive. So a couple of free throws here as we edge towards the halfway point of the first quarter. 16-11. The Sixers haven't looked to experience too much trouble on the offensive side of the floor. Second free throw for Gordon is good. Sixers up 7. They led by as much as 9. We've got Watford on the floor playing some early minutes. They have done this in his first 2 games of the season. Watford just lost the ball, though, and the Sixers swoop on it. They're playing harder. I don't know who this is driving it in. The kick out to Martin, though. Gets inside. The bounce pass to Gordon. Catch and shoot 3 is off. The rebound by Simmons, and he nearly gave away another offensive rebound. Simmons the cross. Watford the drive. The Euro, the kick out. Thomas is open. Pump fake. Open 2. It's good. Love that. All starts with Ben Simmons forcing those overcommits. The butterfly effect. So, into the second half of this first quarter. 5-point lead for the Sixers. Yabusele. There's a screen off the ball, or a foul off the ball, and it's on Cam Thomas, but he's like, what the hell did I do? Clowney's going to come into the game. Let's have a look at the foul. And there's a hold. So Cam's already got 2 personals, and he's had a very low-key sort of a start. Maxey 1-on-1 with Clowney. We know how good he is on the perimeter. Forces Maxey into a pass, and that forces a miss on the 3. So the Nets can cut it down to a singular possession. Thomas will have a responsibility. He is blitzed. He drives in. Stops. Oh, that's a tough shot. It's off. And it's going to be Sixer ball. So Thomas must have fumbled it as he tried to chase up his own miss. He's going to go to the bench as that occurs. Wilson will come into the game. So the Nets are 6 of 8 after starting 0 of 3 from the field early on in the contest. Martin will hand off to Gordon. Maxey will come collect. High screen set by Yabusele. Cross, drive in, step back 2, and that falls short. The rebound fumbled off by Watford, but Clowney secures, and now Simmons will absolutely rocket pass it to the corner as Johnson hits the 3 and lets the defender fly by. He's been good at that early on, and he's already got 10 points in the game. Or 8. One or the other. He's hit a couple 3s, though. The drive in. Well done by Watford to force the poor pass, and then Yabusele just blew a bunny at the rim. Watford. Simmons behind the back. Johnson fumbled the ball, and it's going to be net ball. That was the most clunky possession I've seen. Ben basically just passed the ball around his back, and it didn't look deceptive for 1 second. Like, I always knew where that ball was. And then Johnson fumbled it. So yeah, Cam Johnson does have 10, by the way. 10 of the 16. Picking up right where he left off from the other day. Here he is now right on cue. He's got Yabusele guarding him. McCain's guarding Clowney in the post, but they don't get it there. Zaire, kick out to Wilson. And it rims out. The rebound by Gordon. He's going to push the pace. The Sixers in a bit of a cold stretch, but Gordon is able to muscle his way to the rim and discard Watford for the open 2. So 4-point lead for the Sixers, but they definitely have slowed up just a little bit here. Watford's had another turnover, stripped this time by God knows who. McCain to Yabusele. Jackson's in the game for the Sixers. Gordon down the middle. Bounce past McCain. He'll score those. He does. You knew it. Straight away. So the Nets have had 4 turnovers. Watford's come in and been a bit of a turnover machine early on here. Loving a good turnover. 1-2 with Wilson. Watford gets it back. The drive in. The shot with the right hand. He wanted the whistle. Did well to score falling away. And he cuts it back down to 5. 3 or so minutes left here in this first quarter. Loopy pass to the wing. They roll it back to the outside with McCain here. Johnson, I thought, fouled. Did well there. Bodies flying on the floor, but the Sixers still have it, and McCain will hit. That is a tough make. Had a fair bit of attention clinging onto him. He's not unfamiliar to that either. Man's a TikTok star. Wilson, cross, lost the ball, but took a hit as that occurred, and Yabusele knew what he did, runs straight to the bench, but his teammates will follow right behind him as there is a timeout. So an 8-point lead for the Sixers. McCain's hit a couple tough makes, and so the Sixers lead by 8. And it's been really at this margin for most of the quarter. Johnson's got 10. He's been awesome for the Nets thus far. He's accounted for over half our score. Cam Thomas is a bit of a supporting cast in that. 4 points, 2 assists. But he's picked up the 2 personals, so you don't want him to inch into foul trouble. I mean, he already has, so you sort of want him to lay off it a little bit. So he'll get a bit of a lengthy breather. Jared McCain scored 6. He's had a couple shots in the last minute or two, and he's hit both with a steal in there. They've been pretty good at stealing the ball early on in this game. 4 steals already for the Sixers. And then you look at the shooting percentages. I mean, they've hit 5 threes to our 2, both of which have come from CJ, and that's where they're getting their separation. They've hit also a few free throws. The Nets have not been there in this whole game so far. So I feel like we're getting inside a little bit, but not getting the calls, not forcing rash contests by the Sixers. Simmons has been pretty quiet. Finney Smith, much the same. Schroeder's basically done nothing. So we've got to thank CJ again, because my goodness, this Net team would be in the pits if he wasn't playing the way he has played so far today. If you are enjoying, don't forget to drop a like on the stream and subscribe if you are new. We'll be back for Nets Kings in a couple of days' time, so make sure to not miss that one. Wow, in November, in 10 games, CJ is shooting 66% from on twos, 40% on threes, and 95% from the line. And he's also made the second most threes to this point of the season of any Net in NBA history. Joe Harris is the only player to hit more than the 46 threes that Cam Johnson has hit so far this year, which is sort of crazy. Claxton's in the game for the first time. I sort of forgot he existed. He misses the lob, but Wilson is there for the follow, and the Nets get their first second chance points of the contest and cut the lead to 6. Jackson is out there with McCain, Drummond, And then Gordon and some other guy, I still cannot work out who it is. Council, I think it is. Gordon, the drive-in, gets past Clowney, but Clowney was there for the chase down block. That wingspan coming in clutch. And then he just appeared out of nowhere to get that steal. Dove on the floor to collect. And then he's going to complete the lob. And Schroeder, the second possession, he's thrown the lob up to one of our bigs. We've got Clowney, Zaire, and Claxton on the floor. And this lineup usually clamps. So I'm interested to see how the Sixers go with a shorthanded roster against this sort of unit. McCain on the outside. Good rollover by Schroeder. Gordon drives in on Clowney again. Extra feed, and Drummond completes the play with a one-handed flush. They did well there to draw the man in. Claxton was a little bit lost there. Schroeder on the wing has the screen set for him. The 1-2 by Clowney. Schroeder will get it back to the corner for Williams. Well held there by Jackson. Wilson cuts to the basket. Lost Gordon and was able to score for two. He extended the arm, and you definitely could make a case for that being an offensive foul, but the Sixers are not going to get the benefit of the official's call there. So the Nets down 4. Jackson, cross-court pass to Council, over Clowney. The 3 is off, and Drummond was removed from the play. And I don't know who committed that foul, but Drummond's going to be an absolute issue here trying to box him out. That's the really deceiving thing about Noah Clowney, right? He's just, like, you can get past Clowney, but you can't really. It's deceiving, right? Like, you can beat him on the first step, and you can bypass him, but Clowney's length is always going to be able to prevail and reach over the top. Drummond's free throw was halfway down, but it does not matter. It's out. And so one more free throw here. So one more free throw for Drummond, who, of course, is not known for this free throw shooting. He'll shoot one more free throw for the Sixers. And that one is in. It rattles home. It wasn't convincing. It looked the best part of, halfway down for quite a bit there. And then it did eventually go down. The Nets are down by 5. They will hold presumably for a 2-for-1. A couple screens come up at the 3-point line. There's a pretty soft foul there by Council. A body bump had Schroeder hit the deck. And it will be free throws, I believe. No. The Nets are not in the bonus. That's the first foul in the final 2 minutes. Schroeder will do the facilitation duties from the corner. He's going to probably pass to Claxton. And he will get it back from him. Schroeder's going to move it quickly for that 2-for-1 execution. He lost the ball. He wanted a hit on the arm. We actually could have gotten a review going on there. If that was a foul, we would have gotten the ball, or we probably would have gotten free throws. 4-second difference between shot and game. The Sixers will hold. Jackson 1-on-1 with Schroeder. The step back to mid-range is off. The rebound by... Well, the Sixers somehow end up with it. That's a deep 3. Oh, goodness me, that was nearly down. From about 30 feet. That was only marginally off. It was on line. It just fell fractionally short, and that will do it for the first quarter. The Sixers led basically the whole first quarter. They, held the Nets to 24 points and scored 29 of their own. The fast start where they scored 11 of the first 13 points was the big key there. And so if we look at the box score, you've got Cam Johnson scoring 10. He's clearly been the high man for the Nets, the only player on the court to be in double figures. And the Nets have shot it really well. 11 of 18. When you compare that with the Sixers, the efficiency stacks up very, very nicely for the Nets, but they've given away a lot of three-pointers. 13 threes for the Sixers to start that quarter, or to start us off here today. And they've also been to the free throw line for trips 5 times, or a couple of times for 5 free throws. The Nets have not been there once. So the key things, I think, from a Nets standpoint to keep us moving and going forward in the second quarter, the turnovers have got to be, trimmed down. We've had 5 turnovers and only forced 1 turnover. So that's where you're probably seeing a few of the extra possessions summoned for the Sixers, 23 shots to 18. I'd say that's a huge reason why. And then you look at, I think you can't see it here, but the second chance points, the eye test tells me that we've given away way too many second chance points or second chance opportunities. I don't know where, if they've got a lot of reliable shooting out there, but look, we've probably got to get our offensive game going, because Cam Johnson with 10 in the opening quarter and we've only scored 24. I mean, we should be pushing 30 points. Schroeder hasn't scored. Claxton hasn't scored. Simmons hasn't scored. You got Thomas only shooting, he shot 4 shots, which is actually a pretty sizable amount of the offense, voice crack. But yeah, I feel like there's a few. We just need to see a little bit more contribution, a little bit more tidiness on the offensive end, a little bit more discipline, making the more simple pass. So, second quarter action underway now here, with the Sixers kicking us off as the Nets won the tip from the off. McCain on the outside. Claxton defense on the perimeter. McCain gets inside, doesn't get the angle. Drummond batted it to himself, but the Nets were able to snatch it away and win rights. Schroeder, drive, no look lob. Claxton with the escort, the little tip in off glass. He was able to parry it home, and the Sixers have got it back down to 3. Bounce pass by Jackson to Drummond as he rolled. McCain was open. I don't know why we were giving him so much space, one pass away, but McCain misses and the Nets can tie the game here. Schroeder is going to try it and miss. And the rebound by Drummond. So the Sixers get let off there and they'll get into a set. Zaire picks up Jackson on the outside. The Nets 2 threes made compared to the Sixers 5. Oubre gets inside. There was a reach. And they're going to count the basket. That was fairly careless there by Zaire. I don't know what he was doing. That's definitely not where the foul was. Zaire was the man. You almost needed to you just needed to physically body him, really. Just to prevent him from scoring that too, because it was pretty easy the way he was able to navigate his way inside. Oubre makes his free throw. He's made all 3 of his attempts. The Nets back down 6, so just like that. A 6-point swing after Schroeder missed the 3 on the other end. Here he is on the outside. Using that screen, Clowney will shoot the 3 over Oubre, and he airballed it. Goodness gracious, that was disgusting. Oubre, McCain has the defender on his right shoulder. Drummond will get it on the kick out. Oubre down the middle. Lob, they're trying to look for the lob pass, and I mean, rightfully so, because Wilson found himself defending Drummond a few feet away from the basket, and he just had to take one for the team and swat Drummond basically across the body so he could force Drummond to the free throw line there. So Drummond at the line. 1 of 2 on his first trip. Makes his 3rd free throw there. The Nets still have not gone to the free throw line yet today. Sixers up by 7. That's off. Long rebound by Wilson. And he'll wait for Schroeder to have an opportunity here to receive the ball. Screen set by Wilson. Another arrives by Claxton. He rolls open. Shooters everywhere. Wilson. One more. Schroeder top of the key 3. Yes. He got it. Good ball movement by the Nets there. Love that. It just started on the screen and roll. And then the numbers opened up. And then Oubre fumbled the ball out of bounds. So very innocuous turnover there by the Sixers. Barely caused by anything. Oubre just fumbled it out of bounds. And so the Sixers lead by 4, but they'll have to defend this possession to ensure that remains intact. Schroeder on the outside. Doesn't use the Claxton screen. Gets inside. The no-look to Clowney in the corner. Guarded by Martin. Lost the ball. And there was a foul going up. A late whistle, but a whistle nonetheless. And the Nets will get 2 shots. Their first 2 free throws for the game. Three personals for Oubre, and of course that's pretty important because he was a starter today. Never mind, the Nets are not getting free throws. It's on the floor. So, Schroeder on the outside. Claxton rolls to the rim and breaches the zone. He scores for 2 with the left hand. The nice little runner there. Bruising screen by Drummond. Got rid of Clowney for a second, but he's done well to recover here. They roll it back out to McCain. Guarded by Wilson. Another kick out. Martin the drive. And then you had multiple blocks right there as Martin fell to the floor. Claxton was one. Zaire was the other. But Zaire will be hit with the personal. Zaire wasn't even looking at the defender or the offensive player there. Martin at the free throw line to shoot 2. So the Sixers getting a little bit of respite here at the free throw line because it's been pretty tough going for them in the half court. At least it feels like in the last couple of possessions. Zaire heads to the bench. He's picked up 3 personals as well, and that's in quick time because he only came on late in the first quarter. 7 minutes for him. Martin's second free throw is well short. You absolute idiots. Dumbass, man. A loose ball foul on the fucking rebound off the second miss. Claxton and Simmons, really? It's just so careless. And the Sixers are already in the bonus and we're 3 minutes into the second quarter. They'll be able to shoot free throws the rest of the way here. Open 3 for Martin in the corner. That looked way off the minute he shot the ball, but Drummond got the long rebound, and now it's Caleb Martin who takes it in. Extra feed to the other Martin. Corner tray by Jackson. The second chance points are good. The Nets are really letting themselves down here with the second chance points right now. So many offensive rebounds here for the Sixers, and that's what you're getting with Drummond on the floor. He's been a top 5, top 3, even top 1 rebounder for years. And then the Nets turn the ball over again. Yet again. Just careless. McCain. Drive. Kick out. Partially deflected by Simmons. But the Sixers are able to still receive it. I lost the ball. Jackson passed up and open 2 for another 3. That's playing the percentages, and McCain gets it out to a 9-point lead. We got this down to, what, a 2-point game? And every single time that's happened, it's been like a 7-0 run every single time. And the Nets are right. they actually didn't turn the ball over on the previous sequence because it's gone off the Sixer leg, but the Nets didn't use their challenge. They would have won it. Instead, another 5-point swing, or potential 5-point swing. So the Nets down by 9. They've been outscored in this quarter as well, 11-7. And the Sixers have done pretty well with Maxey on the bench. Like, it feels like he's been on the bench for a fair chunk of time. He doesn't have a minutes restriction today. You can see the box score. I mean, they've got 9 out of McCain. They got 8 out of Oubre. I mean, Maxey hasn't been the main focal point here. Only the 3 shots taken in the game. McCain has been, well, a nice scoring threat as he's been played with the second unit. He's been their focal point there, but he's also facilitated the ball as well. It doesn't really feel like it's been too high usage. So yeah, I mean, for the Nets, Schroeder's done a good job in this second quarter of getting the bigger players involved. He's been facilitating and sharing it around quite nicely. But yeah, right now, the 3-pointers are the 3-pointers and the free throws are separating the two teams right now. I mean, the Nets are shooting it exceptionally from the field, but they've taken 8 less shots. They've made more shots than Philly, but they've taken 8 less shots. And Philly's scoring profile is more comprised of 3-pointers and free throws. I mean, they've taken 10 free throws to 0. They've taken 17 threes to 8. And in the modern NBA, you're going to get absolutely cooked if you can't shoot threes at a high volume, shoot free throws at a high volume. So that's where the situation lies at the moment. I wouldn't say we've played abysmally, but there's a lot of things to clean up. The rebounding, the turnovers are the 2 main issues right now, but also the fact that we can't get to the free throw line for our life. That's a problem. Johnson is back in the game. Thomas is also returning. Guarded by Drummond on the outside. I don't know why he didn't drive that. He was forced into a pass, and Johnson had to shoot a step back 2 as the clock expired. The Nets get the offensive board. Beautiful feed by Wilson, but Ben blew a layup. Oh my God. Transition 2. There's a foul by Watford, and there's free throws. So that is shocking by Ben. What the fuck? How has he missed that? Did he get partially blocked? Nope, he just lost the ball going up. Mate, he's getting paid $40 million to be this. Whatever this is, I've got nothing to say, really. Like, we can say he had a decent game last game and say that he's just fucking hopeless, or has been hopeless tonight. We can say both things at once. So Martin converts both free throws. The Sixers on an 8-0 run, and the Nets are down by as much as they ever have in this game so far. Watford, Johnson, bounce pass back to Watford. He's guarded by McCain. This is the sort of stuff we saw down the stretch against Charlotte, and Watford takes full advantage. He scores for 2. I believe that's his second bucket of the game, and then it's a back down 9, but they've got to get stops, man. Every time we get to within a possession, there's always a response by Philly. That's a crazy lob by Drummond. Beautiful time there by McCain. Drummond had to go get it, but falling down, was able to complete it. Thomas lost the ball. Simmons batted it away. Oh my God. The Sixers are just the referees have just given the Sixers every call for those out of bounds plays off hands. Another turnover for the Nets. So Drummond's going to head to the bench at the 6:50 mark. I believe Maxey's back in now. And he would be fully refreshed here. He's been on the bench for quite a while. Martin's back in as well. Gordon, Yabusele, and Martin, the others, on the floor. So Martin squared on the floor. Maxey the drive and kick. Martin in the corner. The baseline drive. Watford took a hit. And it's a blocking foul. And Martin is down. Looks like the tailbone got rocked there by... or for Martin there. So Martin will take a trip here. Martin makes another free throw. Second one is perfectly aligned. It's a 13-point lead for Philly. Wow. 46-33, the scoreline here. We're halfway through the second. Thomas in the mid-range. Tries to shake off Martin. That shot's partially blocked. It's good D by Martin. I don't know why we're not taking it to the hole. There's no interior defending here. They've got Yabusele as their tallest player. Maxey one-on-one with Johnson. He's going to try Cook. Drive in. Skip pass. Beautiful touch pass by Martin. The three is off by Gordon. A good look, though, in rhythm. Thomas, please drive. You've got Eric Gordon on you, bro. He does that, and that was the most wild shot I've ever seen. There was a foul on Eric Gordon. I don't really know what you're supposed to do as a basketball player trying to defend if that's a foul. That's pretty harsh on Philly. Finney-Smith comes back into the game. So we've got the starting five aside from Watford in the game for Schroeder. Watford on cue has it here. To the corner for Johnson. Maxey flies by again. And Johnson is stuck on automatic. Every single three-pointer he takes from that position right in front of the camera looks the exact same. Gordon on the outside. Maxey will have the screen set by Yabusele. To the corner for Martin. Drive in. Lost the ball. It's going the other way. And it's going to be net ball. Simmons gets it into Watford. They'll look to move it quickly here. And the Nets will play through Watford. Thomas. High screen by Ben. Loses Maxey. Martin now defends. Ben took a hit. And there is a foul by Yabusele. Johnson hit the three. What a surprise, because he cannot miss. 4:57 to play. The Nets have still not taken one free throw attempt in this whole fucking game. Martin goes to the bench with that back soreness that he looked to be in a little discomfort about a few minutes ago. Cut by Johnson, lost the ball going up, and then Council just fumbled it out of bounds. I mean, that was a turnover for the Nets, but the Sixers give it right back on the baseline. And because it wasn't a clear possession for Philly, the Nets clock does not reset, so they've got 8 to put one up. Inbounded to Ben. Pass to Johnson on the wing. Drive in, body bump, step back 2. That's off. Hits back iron. The rebound by Maxey. And he's going to hold things up on the wing with the lead at 10, 4:30 to play. The handle's a little bit loose. Shoots the deep 2, misses it badly. The rebound by Finney Smith. I don't know how the Sixers have nearly ended up with it. That was an incredibly messy rebound, but that sums it up, right? The Nets just, like, the simplest of shit has been overcomplicated in this game. And it's sort of staggering to see, right? So a jump ball here between Finney Smith and Martin. So pretty like-minded in terms of physical attributes, but I mean, when has that ever meant anything? In a jump ball. And it's won by the Nets. Yabusele hit the deck, and you definitely could make a case for a foul, but instead, the Nets will have it. An opportunity to trim the deficit. Schroeder goes up and is able to score with the left hand. The nice little tickler. And so, an 8-point game. 4 minutes to play. Maxey, the shake and bake. And that 3, he's got that patented. And it's back up to 11. That little bit of hesitation always removes the defender. Has them on skates. Schroeder 1-on-1. Thomas used the screen to get an open look in the corner, but that was misdirected. Gordon will drive on Johnson. The reverse doesn't get it home. And now Schroeder, the trailer is Thomas, lost the ball, then lost the ball again, and the Sixers run out. And an easy leak out for Maxey. He scores for 2. Thomas, man, he's just... The amount of turnovers in this first half by CT, he's looking pretty troubled by the way the Sixers have been throwing their defense at him. Schroeder, Johnson with the slip, Finney Smith with the open look. It's off. Claxton bats it back. Thomas saved, but had his foot on the sideline beforehand, and so it will not matter. It's going to be Sixer ball. The Nets have got 38 points in the first half, man. Who would have thought this was going to be the game we're going to shit the bed? It's been pretty tough going. Maxey will take a seat with Gordon. So Maxey's minutes have been really sparing. McCain's going to drive and kick. Mutton. Close out by Finney Smith is late. There's open numbers on the weak side. The drive in. Lost the ball going up. Jackson the pump fake. The 3. Doesn't go down. Then the putback attempt was denied at the rim. Johnson. Open 3 in transition. It's good. Another tray for CJ. And it's back down to 10. I tell you what, he's single-handedly keeping us alive. But McCain's 3, I thought that was out. Schroeder punched it out to Thomas. We get early offense here. And there was a block, but there was also a whistle. And the Nets are finally going to get free throws. At last. I look up to the gods and I say, thank you, Lord. So, a 10-point game, and I tell you what, the offense would indicate that we should be down by more, but here we are reaping the benefits, I guess. And so, right now, it's an interesting position we find ourselves in. If you are enjoying the stream, make sure to show us a little bit of support on it and drop a like. Subscribe if you were new. And just do it because I'm putting myself through the warfare of having to watch Nets games, man. This is torturous. I mean, you could lock me up in a mental asylum and that would probably be better than this. I'm taking the piss, all right? It was a severe level of sarcasm, that was. CJ has got 16 in the game, and he is shooting beautifully. 4 of 5 from deep. He has not turned the ball over. 6 of 10. It's been an offensive masterclass. And I feel like a Cam Johnson video on this channel is going to have to occur because this is getting a little bit out of hand how well he's playing. Like these are career best numbers he's putting up right now. And last year I could only say bad things about this guy because he was dog shit. Even though somehow he shot the ball 39% from 3, I can tell you what the eye test said otherwise. But outside of him, no other net has more than 5 points. Which is sort of crazy, right? Like, Thomas has taken 6 shots. He's been a bit of a turnover machine in this game, I'm not going to lie. 3 turnovers. The Nets have had 8 of those, and the Sixers have only had 3. The Nets are shooting over 50% from the field. But the problem is, as we've banged on about all day, the Sixers have had more shots, they've had more threes, and they've had a crap ton more free throws. I mean, the free throws alone are the difference in this game. We've had no free throws, man. Wow. In 5 straight games... Wow. The Nets in 5 straight games are hitting threes at a 40% clip on 40-plus attempts. In 5 straight games, that's never happened before. That's an NBA record. If we do that tonight, which I don't think we are, we're not on pace for that, that will be an NBA record. Beating the Celtics. We've had 40-plus attempts in 6 straight games, and we've hit 17 threes in 5 straight games. Cam Johnson's a big part of that. A huge part of that. But anyway, we return with Cam Thomas shooting a couple free throws. And I can finally say that because it hasn't happened all game. And amazingly enough, with that stat in mind, we are still down by single figures only. It's actually remarkable. Like, and even with our turnovers being much more severe in comparison. We close in on the final 2 minutes. That's a great bit of acceleration there by Martin. I reckon he got hit. I reckon he got hit on the arm, but Martin just lost the ball in the air. There may have been a foul there, but Martin just lost the ball out of bounds, and so the Nets can get this down to a more respectable margin as the seconds tick down. Corner 3 for CT. Oh my God, how did that not rim in? Thomas nearly read the steal as they try to get it to Jackson in the backcourt. McCain to Jackson to Yabusele, passing around the perimeter. It's Council now at the logo. Cross. McCain. The drive in on Schroeder. The block by Schroeder. Thomas down the middle. Layup. Yes. Early offense for the Nets. Defense always leads to offense. A 7-0 run in the last minute has slashed that lead in half. And now the Nets blitz a little bit here. Johnson guarding McCain on the outside. Do not give him space. That's a poor pass by McCain. It was too loopy and Jackson got his feet muddled. And so the Nets, 80 seconds left in this opening half, can get it down even more so. They're already within touching distance, but they can get a little bit closer. Schroeder. Claxton, high screen. Schroeder got caught in the air because Claxton was not open for the lob, which is what he was looking for. Here he is, though. Another pass forced by Schroeder. Extra feed by Finney-Smith, who drew 2 defenders. Claxton was open in the dunker spot. It's down to a 4-point game. Jackson gets it past the half-court line. We're inside the final minute of the opening half. 51-47 the score. Jackson guarded by CT on the wing. The switch. Claxton guards Jackson. Yabusele wants it in the post, and he exploits that Cam Thomas mismatch. I don't know how many times Thomas has been caught in that position, but the Nets look awfully comfortable in the sense that they want to switch, and they don't care if Thomas gets caught there. Johnson is an open 3. It's a beautiful set design and a beautiful 2-for-1 execution. Johnson has 19 points in this first half. It's the second game in a row he's had a similar scoreline. McCain on the outside, guarded by Finney-Smith, a good defender. Finney-Smith tried to get the steal. McCain forced into the pass. They got 5 to shoot. Schroeder guarding Jackson. Step back 3 by Jackson. There was no arm up. Claxton gets the board. We got to save it. We got to push the pace. 5 to shoot. 4 to shoot. Johnson the drive. Open 3, Finney-Smith. No. That would have tied the game, and it would have been all square going into the second half. We would have been back where we started. But nonetheless, a good end to that first half by the Nets. They were down 38-51, but they went on a 12-2 run. It's very similar to the way things went with the Charlotte game in the second quarter. We closed that one off pretty well, and so we were within touching distance in that game as well. So overall, the Nets looked a little bit in dire straits, right? They had like 12 points with 4 minutes to go, so they really got the scoreboard ticking over at the back end there of that quarter. And they ended up outscoring the Sixers in that quarter. So it results in a 3-point lead the way of the Sixers, but I would say the Nets have got the momentum going into the halftime break. Johnson has 19 and he scored 5 threes. I mean, this is just a bit out of hand, right? He has not turned the ball over. He's somehow a negative in the plus minus. I'll tell you what, that's not indicative of the way he's been playing. He's been playing with a bunch of bums. Claxton's been good in his minutes on the floor with 6 points and 4 rebounds. Thomas has scored 8, but it's been pretty tough going. The ball's been forced out of his hands. And some of the time that's resulted in turnovers. A bit of a mixed bag there. And really, there's not too much else to bang on about. I mean, Schroeder's got 5 dimes and a block. He's been pretty decent in his minutes. And he's known when to, he's known to not force the shot. He's only taken the 3 shots all game. And then you've got some nice little bench contributions there. But look, we're shooting 40% from 3 again. And the field goal percentage is absolutely exceptional. And so late in the game, or late in that first half, they had a couple turnovers that sort of closed the margin down a little bit in terms of this disparity in field goal attempts. The threes, it's now 8-6, the way of Philly. And then the free throw number, well, that's the most sizable deficit, right? 14 free throws to 2 in the first half. So the Nets, I mean, to get within 3 of Philly with that free throw disparity is a pretty good effort. And I think that goes down to the sensible shooting by most players. Really, no one on this Nets team is shooting sub 50%, right? Thomas is just going a little bit under, but Cam Johnson's made up for it in many ways. Jalen Wilson, Watford hasn't missed. Clowney's going in at a 50% clip on 2 shots. Simmons is probably the only exception with Finney-Smith to the rule. From a Philly perspective, Maxey's got 10, but he's only played 11 minutes. They've really given McCain license in this first half, 17 minutes, a team high, and he's got the 9 points. So the Nets have forced the ball out of his hands at stages. The more we can do that, the better, because he's really damaged from 3. Yabusele with 8 and 6, getting the start as the center, the small ball center, and Drummond off the bench in 7 minutes, 6 points, 5 rebounds. So he's been a bit of a nuisance in the paint, as he always is against these net teams in Sean Marks' tenure, where we always go with lanky bigs, and we can never contend with a player like this. Oubre's got 8, but he was in foul trouble. He picked up 3 personals relatively quickly. He's only played 7 minutes in the whole game. So a very widespread distribution of minutes for Philly. Like, no Sixers played less than 7 minutes. And no one's played more than 17 minutes. But you've got like 8 players who have hit double-figure minutes, right? And then for the Nets, it's a little bit more slated to your Schroeders, your Cam Johnsons, Cam Thomases. I'm liking the minute allocation, though, with Johnson playing 17 minutes. Thomas playing 14 on return. You don't want to overdo it. And Claxton playing 10. I feel like he's played some hyper-efficient minutes. Even though he's been a little bit on and off at stages. I think he's overall been a net positive, so no pun intended in that either. If you are enjoying, make sure to drop a like on the stream and subscribe as well if you are new. We'll be back for Nets Kings in a couple of days' time. Why does this not update? I'm pretty certain I updated this next game graphic, bro. This is absolutely ridiculous. I always forget to do it. Because the Kings are not 2-11. The Sixers are 2-11. I forgot to bloody update it. Thanks, bro. For the stream, I presume. But yeah, that's all right. That's all good. That is what we're here for. We're here just to have a chat and have a conversation about the game and watch the game. And look, I think it's my viewership over the course of time has been very inconsistent, right? But I feel like my play-by-plays have gotten a lot better over the course of time. I used to stumble over my words all the time, and now I sort of still do, but it's a little bit more methodical the way I say things, which is helpful for you, because I watch some streams, right, of some people doing these things, and I don't think I'm absolutely goated at this. I'm not a professional by any stretch, but like some people that do these play-by-plays, they just go way too quick, and I don't know how you can really keep up. And like they praise them for it and they get a fair bit of viewership on it, but I feel like that's just the team popularity talking, as opposed to them actually doing a good job. That's just my personal take on it. And of course, it's nothing on them because they're not professionals either. But if I was watching a play-by-play, I'd want to know what's going on. I'd like it to be coherent. It's not you once the team improves, the viewership will go up. Well, yeah, that's the key here, right? Like, when KD was on this team, my viewership was like through the roof. So yeah, it's actually really interesting how that works. I'm interested to see what happens if we get like a high pick, like hypothetically in the world that we get Cooper Flag. How would this stream go? I'd be very interested to see what that would look like. Like, would a lot of people be wanting to watch these sort of things? Or would people pay more attention to the Nets because of it? Your stream will be high on draft night. Well, that's if I did a... You know what? I may actually have to do a draft night stream because we've got so many picks. Who's your favorite Nets player? I like Cam, but like I think Cam Johnson's growing on me this year. I think last year it was like Wilson. I do like Zaire. Zaire is I'm a big fan of Zaire, even though he's a bit hot and cold. I just like how he's a tenacious sort of player, you know? And I feel like he's going to be here for the long haul. Cam Johnson's growing on me, man. I almost would not trade him. Because this is good basketball right here. But you can I don't think it's sustainable, and that's probably why you trade him. But you can get a lot of picks. I think Sean Marks has done a really good job here. Or like last year he copped a load of shit, and even at the back end of this year, right? The start of this year, even in the off season, he copped so much shit because everyone was like, why aren't we trading DFS? Why aren't we trading CJ? And that's perfectly fine actually, because you know, these guys were playing like dog shit and they don't align with the timeline. But to be fair, Sean Marks saw that their value was low and was like, well, they can only get better, right? And so we're almost seeing DFS and CJ play the best basketball of their careers, which is sort of nuts to me because I didn't think those guys were going to improve. Or I didn't know what their I didn't know what their like standard was, but Cam Johnson's standard, if he like averaging 18 a game this season, and that'll go up. He's already hit his season average in one half. And he's done that a couple games in a row. I mean, we go back, as I said, he scored 34 against Charlotte. He scored 22 against the Knicks. He scored 17 against the Knicks, but in that game, he actually hit 10 free throws. So, voice crack. That is like, it's showing a bit of balance with the way he's playing. I think that's the game-changing thing for me. It's like last year, it looked so forceful. Like, it just looks so difficult for him. But this year, he's a smooth operator. That's what he is. Every game this season, bar one, against Boston in that blowout loss where we shipped off 139, he's scored in double digits every game. And I'm just counting the 20-point games. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He's got 6 20-point games already, and he's going to get another one here. So 7 20-point games in 16. That's pretty good. What's the difference between a professional and an intermediate? Well, I mean, I don't think there's like specific attributes. I like, you can just tell what a professional like commentator or play-by-play caller, you can tell like if you're a professional or not. Like, if you're a professional, you know how to bounce off. Like, because usually you'll have 2 people in a commentary team, so you'll know how to bounce off one another. You'll be able to know when to pick moments. Like, you just hear Iron Eagle talk or commentate, and he just knows when to pick the moment, or he knows how to call the moment. He doesn't get carried away. Like, when I call it, you can tell I'm an amateur because I get carried away and I don't know what to say. And then I tell you guys, I just don't know what to say. Like, no commentator that's professional is doing that. They're remaining committed to the task. So I reckon that's probably the best way I could explain it. Because there really is no other way to articulate it, I think. And the professional gets paid, yeah. Well, amateurs and intermediates get paid. It just depends what level they're doing it at. Like, you can see volunteers do lower league commentary for other sports and they don't get paid because of like the level and because of like the amount of money that's thereabouts. Like, there could be professionals down there, but they don't get paid. Like, it really depends what position you're in and how much notoriety you have and how much backing you've got, how many reps you've done. All that comes into play, I feel like. So I think that's probably the real that's probably the way you differentiate it, I think. Yeah. I also just like, not that I don't know what the audience is, right? For people watching right now, but the most random thing I saw yesterday was here in Australia, we're all about AFL. Seeing ISO speed in an AFL jumper at like an AFL training session was so strange. Like, that had me so confused. Yeah. It was not on my bingo card, I'll tell you that much. Alrighty. Have you been watching any college ball? If so, anyone standing out to you? Not really. I've seen a lot of bits and pieces about the boys at Rutgers. So Ace Bailey and Dylan Harper. Is it Dylan Harper? Yeah. I've seen a bit of Cooper Flagg, and he looks cracked. So, look, I really don't... There's a lot of people that get into the draft and I can never really get fully invested in it. I just don't find it all that interesting. Like, we watch these plays all year. It's good to get like interested and get hyped about players you could get in the draft, but like, I more want to see the player actually get picked for my team, and then I can see what they've done, if that makes sense. Like, I don't know if, like, when we drafted, let's say, Noah Clowney, like, I don't think people were watching Noah Clowney during the year, but when you do draft a player, it's cool to see what they've done in college. I feel like that's the sort of college watcher I am, if that makes enough sense. We're underway here for the second half, by the way, and it is the Nets who lead by 3, or trail by 3, but they were down by as much as 13 late second quarter, so they've reeled it back in nicely, and a good bit of defense there. What? McCain was fouled on the 3. I don't know where that foul was. I would love to see a replay on that. I don't... The foul was probably there, but I could not really distinguish where that foul actually was. McCain at the line misses the first. So now the free throw trip will reap the rewards of a traditional two-pointer. 53-50 the scoreline, early third quarter. McCain at the line makes the second after missing the first. In case you missed it, the free throw count for the Nets in the first half was 2. 2 free throws the whole first half, and yet they trail by only 5 as McCain makes that second free throw. The Nets will get into a set early in the third quarter. 55-50 the scoreline. After the Nets outscored the Sixers in the second by 2. Johnson on the wraparound screen. Schroeder, catch and shoot 3. It hits back iron. The long rebound will be secured by Finney-Smith. It was going to happen anyway, but the referee blows the whistle because McCain was holding Finney-Smith on that long rebound as it landed in open space. It was up for grabs. So the Nets will get another go here. Big key in the second half. Second chance points. We need them. And Cam Thomas kicks us off there with 3 from the corner. And that is via courtesy of course, second chance points. Yabusele gets by the closeout and then got fouled going up by 3. We're going to get 2 free throws coming up here. Let's have a look. What? Mate, challenge that. Challenge it, bro. Challenge it. Oh, mate, we're going to win that challenge. There is absolutely nothing in that. Nothing. Well, as we know, Jordi Fernandez has a brilliant track record. Has a brilliant track record with these challenge calls. 55-53 the scoreline. The Nets win the challenge, they can take the lead for the first time today. They've not led at all in this match. As far as I'm concerned, that is not a foul. Yabusele's gone up, he's lost the ball, and if anything, it was a very mild brush by Cam Johnson. But my goodness, if we're calling those fouls, then we're going to be here forever. Your screenshots are different, you have unique style, and I hope you're getting paid. Well, I'm flattered by that comment, but I'm not a professional. So, thanks for the comment though, Naz. Jordy has a Hawkeye. Well, there's been a comment that he made where he gave credit to one of like his video assistants, like in the coaching staff that actually like he reviews the footage mid-game and tells Jordy whether to challenge or not. And usually this guy, I mean, he's doing a cracking job. Because I think our success rate, like for every 3 challenges, we are successful on 2. So That's the ratio we're dealing with, which is very important in a game of basketball to get that success rate. On that volume, we've had the highest volume of any team in the league for challenges. And here we are with the highest success rate as well. That comment, though, by Naz, thank you about the layouts. I actually... Look, every season I make a new layout, but I almost feel like this is the layout. This is the layout, I reckon, that we run with. Because this looks clean. Like, maybe some minor additions for future years, but, like, this looks clean, if I do say so myself. If there was ever a time for me to, like, flatter myself, it's for this. So... we won a challenge again. But it's going to end in a jump ball, which the Nets win. Oh, so Ben actually got a block. I didn't even see that. So Ben actually got a clean block, and they called it a foul somewhere. So we've got 12 wins from 19 coaches' challenges. Which is lovely. The Nets can tie or take the lead. It's Simmons on the perimeter. He's going to look for CT. He gets the ball. Bit of hesitation. Nearly lost his footing, and he's going to give it to Schroeder instead, who can try Cook. Picks up his dribble at the elbow. Thomas gets inside. Defended by Maxey. Shoots through contact, and he's fouled. There was no foul in that. Bro, Maxey cannot do a thing. That's just... I mean, that's just a bailout. I'm going to be completely honest with you. Where is the foul there, bro? Mate, what do you want the defender to do? I'm a Nets supporter and I am bemused by that decision. Thomas cuts it to 1. And so if we tie it, it has not been tied since 0-0. I mean, yet again, this is the second game in a row this has happened in the exact same fashion. It's like I'm reliving what happened 72 hours ago. 55 apiece. It's McCain on the outside, guarded by Thomas. That was our second trip at the line for the whole game. Thomas is all 4 of our free throws accounted for. Martin fakes the handoff, lost the ball going up. It's going to be Nets ball. And they're going to get into it quickly. We get it ahead to Thomas, who is held up by Yabusele on the perimeter. We're playing 5 out practically. Simmons guarded by Oubre. There's a block on the inside. The Sixers will get a transition 3. It's Maxey. Back iron is hit. Oubre with the long board. Thomas gets back defensively now after being removed from the previous play. Maxey missed the reverse. Johnson there defensively. Simmons will push the pace. Cross court. Johnson 3. Yes! He's got 6 trays in the game. Oh my God. CJ. CJ is on a heater. Maxey the spin inside. Picks up his dribble. McCain in the corner. Sidestepping 3. That's off. The rebound by Thomas. This is where the Nets make a move. Simmons. The trailer is Thomas. I feel like he's thinking about a 3. 1-on-1 with Yabusele. He shoots the 3. He scores the 3. Where's the timeout, Philly? They're not calling it. You're crazy. And then an offensive foul. Cam Thomas able to draw that offensive foul there after converting the 3. Things you love to see. This. So a 6-point lead. The Nets can build this up a little bit more here. They're 3 of 4 to start the quarter from the field. It's Thomas on the outside. The drive in. The kick out. Finney-Smith, another 3. Yes! It's a 3-point shooting party! Goodness me. Bombs away. It's raining. It's raining. It ain't raining actual rain though. Sorry, that was shit. I'm just trying to sound as conventional a commentator as possible. And making a fool of myself in the process. But who cares? The Nets have the lead. The Nets have got the lead. Things you love to see. So, right now, a 9-point lead. The Nets have burst out of the blocks here in the second half. They've scored 14 points in 3 minutes. Excuse me. Voice crack again. They ended the half on a 12-2 run. They've started this half on a 14-2 run. So you do the math, and that's a 26-4 run. And that is just mental when you think about it. We were down 13 with like, I'm going to say 4 minutes left in the second quarter. And here we are now with a comfortable 9-point lead. And so all of a sudden we're sitting quite comfortably. I'm actually going to do the other check. How far back do I have to go? 3:27 remaining. Even honestly, 2:40 remaining. When Yabusele missed, he got an offensive rebound and he missed a simple 2-foot putback layup. With 2:40 left, we were down 51-38. So in the next 5 minutes 40 of game time, we've come out and we've scored 26 points. Which is just ballistic. It's been a 3-point barrage here in this second half so far. We've got a 3 from Finney Smith, a 3 from CT, a 3 from Cam Johnson, and another 3 by CT. So the Nets, man, piling on the pain here early in the third quarter, but of course a long way to go. As I just said, we've gone on a 26-4 run in 5 minutes. And we've got 21 minutes left in the game. So anything is possible, right? But the Nets have started this second half exceptionally, right? So 9 minutes to play here in the third quarter. And so the Nets are on a 14-zip run. Maxey gets by Schroeder, gets inside, picks up his dribble. Open 3 in the corner for McCain. That hits back iron as well. Batted out. Maxey gets the rebound. Martin the 3 is good. And he's able to halt the Nets in their tracks. But yet again, a second chance opportunity results in points for Philly, which is what you want to restrict. Cross-court pass to Thomas. Swatted away by Martin, but Thomas recollects the lob. Ben is able to get the tip in. Martin's last shot, he had a toe on the line, so it was a 2. McCain, high screen, switch. Johnson guarding, good defense. McCain tries to scoop it in and was able to get around Johnson and complete the play. Schroeder thought about the 3, then had the space to shoot. And, well, you can't give him that much space, but luckily, Philly are not punished. Finney Smith with the knockaway and the Sixers with the turnover. Johnson, high screen by Ben. Step back, but pass the ball away. And now Thomas guarded by Martin with 7:30 to shoot, or 7:30 to play in the game. Thomas the scoop, got it to go. That was shifty. They got an open 3. Gee, Thomas nearly blocked him from behind. Completely out of the play. It was a 5-on-4. The whole possession, and McCain punished. Schroeder goes baseline, right by McCain, extra feed. Johnson the layup. Lovely. Simple team basketball. Johnson's got 24 in the game. The Nets are 70% in the quarter from the field. Oubre tries to drive on Ben. Forced into a pass. Schroeder is guarding Yabusele in the post. Yabusele relocates to the perimeter. It's an open look, but you'll live with those. And Ben Simmons gets the rebound. What the actual fuck are you doing? Ben's just passed it to two players not looking at the ball. Like, he does that so often as well. It's like he's on a completely different page. It's like he's on chapter 4 while everyone else is still getting up to date with what's in chapter 1. Oubre, oh, that's a fucking deep 3, that one. And that kills you even more because that was just a completely nothing sequence for the Nets. We didn't even get into a set and you just give away 3. They nearly get a steal there, but the overcommit created an open look in the corner. It's surely going to be net ball. It is going to be net ball. Batted out of bounds as the Sixers tried to get that rebound. 6:13 to play in the third. Clowney will check in. Nets up 5. Finney-Smith will exit. Drummond comes in for Yabusele. Ben gets it in. Thomas receives the handoff. Oh, that's a deep 3. That is so off. It nearly resulted in a wedgie. The Sixers can cut this down a little bit. Open man on the weak side. Gordon blew the layup. Good verticality by Thomas. Watford. Thomas forced into a pass. 1-2 with Watford. Lost the ball. Wanted the foul. Didn't get it. Maxey leaks out. Open look. Good defense there by Watford and Johnson, who were able to protect him or protect the lane, and the foul stopped them in their tracks. CT's got to stop focusing on getting the fucking whistle when the going gets tough, right? He's just got to let the fouls come to you. Don't force it. Maxey on the perimeter. They can cut it back down to 1 possession here. Switch. Maxey. Top of the key. Good roll by Drummond, and he blew the layup. Dunk. Whatever you want to say. They somehow are able to get it back through Oubre. They lob it up, and Drummond redeems himself. I don't know how the fuck they got the offensive rebound there. It was that bad a miss that the Nets weren't even remotely interested or had no business in knowing that there was a rebound on offer. Thomas is doubled. And a leak out. And a dunk by Maxey. And you got to call a timeout. Mate, that is so fucking pathetic. He's getting cooked on these blitzes, man. He just is not... It's actually crazy how many times CT is just... Like, today it's been far from his best game. Far from his best game. Like, I'm pretty sure we have Cam Johnson on the floor. We do. He's fucking sitting in the corner, and they're not even, like, Thomas is trying to cook on offense himself. Mate, feed the ball. I know you've got 18 points, but fam, share it. You've got a hot hand. You do not want to ice him. 24 points for CJ. He has not turned the ball over. Meanwhile, Thomas, 18 points, shooting it not badly at all, but the turnover count is cooking us. So that's where we lie here with the situation. 20 points to 16, the way of the Nets in the quarter. But they led by as much as 9. 28-51, the Nets, man. We are shooting lights out. The threes are even now. And while the free throws, I mean, we haven't given away free throws until, or in this second half, except for the, I'm trying to think. The only set of free throws we've given away is that McCain foul. The one where McCain got fouled on the 3. Watford should have gotten a foul there going his way. The Nets miss a three, but Wilson gets his own miss. Watford on the outside. Lost the handle. 4 to shoot. We give it to Johnson here. He's going to need to cook something. Wilson, good cut. Reverse. Yes. That's beautifully played. Beautifully played. And Ben Simmons, that pass opened everything up because it was that much of a teaser that it forced the Sixers defender to overcommit. Maxey, gee, that's tough. He had to work his way right round Ben Simmons there, who planted himself in the paint. Wilson gets inside, out to Ben. Top of the key. Pass to Watford in the corner. He's going to shoot a three, and the shot was partially blocked. They did have a man leaking out the Sixers, but Maxey plays it safe and is now guarded by Clowney on the perimeter with 3:48 to play. One-on-one with Johnson. The drive in, the foul, he got it to go. +1. The Sixers have the lead back and Maxey's taking control. So Johnson's defended pretty well for the most part. That's another soft foul. I can't believe they call these. So it feels like Maxey's had a bit more of a stranglehold on the Sixer offense in this second half. I definitely have noticed him more. Definitely getting a higher volume of shots up. So free throw converted. Schroeder's back into the game. Claxton checks in for the first time in the second half. And Zaire also comes into the game. 1-2 with Clowney. Schroeder turns. Looking for a pass. Yet again a 1-2 with Clowney. Schroeder guarded by Oubre. The drive. I don't know who the fuck he passed to, but there were Sixers numbers everywhere. A turnover. And Maxey will shoot a deep three. Hits back on. Rebound swooped on by Schroeder. Wilson, early offense. Gordon got decked. And it's going to be net ball. Amazingly enough, we've only outscored the Sixers by 1 in the quarter. And given... Oh. What's going on here? There's a bit of chatter going on. Ball's inbounded. Claxton. Clowney. Drive on Drummond. Kick out to Williams, the three. That's also off. But I reckon... No. I thought Clowney was able to knock that one off Drummond's hands. Take a deflection, but instead it's a miss. Sixers up by 2. The Nets had a brief stint where they had the control, but that was short-lived. The Sixers up. As we enter the final 3 minutes of the period, Oubre gets inside, kick out to McCain, extra for Jackson. It's an open look, and it's a practice shot, and it's a 5-point lead. It's a game of runs. We saw this last game as well. So, 5-point game again. 2:30 to play here in the third. Screen. Roll. Skip pass. Williams. Oh! He nearly tried to throw the crap out of it down. 2:21 a play. That was nearly a filthy dunk over Drummond. But there's a foul in that. And Zaire will get a couple free throws here. Great aggressiveness in getting to the rim. Zaire will shoot a pair. Bars. Free throw made by Zaire. 1 to come here. 2:21 to play in the third. These are actually the first free throws to be taken by a net not named Cam Thomas tonight. Zaire makes both. 6 free throws now for the Nets in the game. Jackson gets it by the half-court line. High screen Drummond. Used. Drummond rolls. Oh, that's going to be too easy. Like, you cannot allow him to roll because we do not have the personnel to hold him up. He's going to move like a freight train, bro. Schroeder gets inside. The lob. Well read by Drummond. And then Claxton caught it while he was standing on the sideline. So, Sixers up 5. And they've responded really, really well at the back end of this quarter here. Gee, that's a bruising screen by Drummond in the backcourt. Beautiful cross by Jackson. The skip pass to Oubre. But Oubre had relocated and Jackson was unknown about it. So the 9th Philly turnover there. The Nets have 13 of those. Schroeder. There's a foul. It's a defensive 3-second call with 1:29 to play in the third. A free throw for Schroeder now. A tech. And he's got it. So the Nets can get it within a single possession on this sequence. 5 on the floor for the Nets is Zaire Wilson, Claxton, Clowney, Schroeder. A lot of length to go with Schroeder. Ball inbounded to Claxton. Schroeder, high screen. Maneuvers inside. The cut by Williams is met by McCain. They'll push the pace. Pass. Gordon. And there was a foul before the Sixers really were able to get into anything. We had the foul to give. So that's probably a smart foul to make, given the Sixers were running in transition. Had the numbers. So Philly now will get to the free throw line if they are fouled again. Jackson. High screen. Lot of size on the floor. McCain moves in. Misses. Good box out. Claxton with the board. Schroeder will push. 1 minute to play. Doesn't drive in. Wilson, guarded by Oubre, also does not. Claxton looking for a cutter. Schroeder will get it instead. They got 5 to shoot. He picks up his dribble. They wanted to travel. 2 to shoot. 1 to shoot. Wilson missed it. Are we going to get the rebound? No, we're not. Drummond will get it. Jackson will bring it up. He almost did not get past in the allocated 8 seconds. Another bruising Drummond screen. Gee, that is a brutal pass there. Oh my fucking God. Get the rebound! Clowney gets the rebound. We're going to hold for 1. The Sixers had like 3 opportunities under the rim. They had multiple looks. Schroeder 1-on-1 with McCain. Doesn't lose him. We got 4 to shoot. I don't know what he's doing. It's going to be a deep 2. And it's going to be a bucket with 0.5. To cut it to 2. And I don't think the Sixers are going to put one up and tarnish the box score. Jesus Christ, that looked pretty good. But that's 3/4 time. And the Nets trim the deficit by 1. I don't know how Drummond missed. Then Oubre missed. They hit the same spot at the rim. It was trapped on the right side. And the Nets were able to do enough to be present and give themselves that final chance of the quarter, which they took with both hands. And so 3/4 time, 27 points for the Nets in that quarter. Philly score 26. It hasn't been the most offensively gifted game. No team in any quarter has scored 30, which is usually a pretty key part of NBA offenses these days. Cam Johnson is the man. He's got 24 points in the game, and he's hit 6 3-pointers in the match. He tacked on another 6 points in the quarter, and he's just been exceptional for the Nets, really. I mean, there's no two ways about it. Cam Thomas has got 18. He's the only other net in double figures for the Nets. He hit a couple threes in the quarter. He got a bit more involved, 3 of 5 from the field. However, the 5 turnovers is going to be a key piece of the puzzle if the Nets are to win this one. I mean, they've had 14 turnovers in the game. Schroeder's had five turnovers with Thomas. So that's your backcourt duo there. Your starting backcourt duo with 10 of the 14 turnovers. It's not going to work in your favor if that occurs. The Nets obviously had a bit of a chat at halftime about getting a few more threes up, which they did. And they're still shooting above 50% from 3, but they still have 9 less shots than the Sixers. 1 less 3 made. They have been to the free throw line a little bit more here in this third quarter. They had 5 attempts, made them all. So that's slowly trimming down. But yet again, it's going to come down to whether you can rebound and whether you can lower the output on turnovers. The Sixers have gotten good minutes out of their bench. Maxey's got 17 in the game, and he definitely was a more known presence. I think he scored 7 in the quarter, but it just felt like he was everywhere. You got 16 from McCain, who's shooting 50% from 3. And then you've also got some nice little contributions from Oubre and from Drummond. We're about to kick this last quarter off, and it will be the Nets who start with it because, well, they won the jump ball to start this game off. So a 2-point lead. And we will get into a set here with Schroeder, Clowney, Johnson, Claxton, and Wilson, the 5 on the floor. Schroeder will drive in, skip pass, Wilson 3. It rims out, but Claxton gets the rebound. It wasn't clean. He gives it to Johnson on the outside, who weaves through, wanted the roller, and wasn't able to get it there. The Sixers read the pass. They telegraph it. Gordon to the corner for McCain over Clowney. That's off. How has Martin gotten the rebound there? You have 2 men there. That's off. And Johnson gets the rebound, but he's getting a bit of attention by Martin. It's just an open 3. It's going to be a practice shot with him. 7 of 8. 7 of 8 from 3, CJ. Are we being for real here? Jackson. Cross court to Gordon on the wing. 3 over Wilson. I don't like that shot selection, but McCain does well to bat it back. And the Sixers get another look, because of course they do. Cross court to McCain. He moves through, picks up his dribble, and a good bit of contesting by Clowney. The Nets have the numbers. Oh my God, it's a heat check. It's a heat check. CJ! 8 threes! Are we fucking taking the piss? 4-point lead for Brooklyn. McCain, loopy pass out to Gordon. He drives on Clowney. Claxton is there with the block, but they call a foul. I don't know who the fuck that's on. CJ is on a fucking heater. The heater is about to set on fire. We've put a blanket over the heater because it is a flammable object. That's how hot he is. It's fucked. And Gordon misses the free throw. I don't know if any of you know of Aussie Men reviews, but he loves this one-liner. Destination fucked. That's probably a good phrase to use right now. Oh, and Gordon's second free throw rattles home after the first one was no good. So 83-80. We've got 10 minutes to play here in this game. The Nets are 6-9. The Sixers are 2-12. Claxton faked the handoff, blew past Drummond, and scored the 2 to get the lead up to 5. So they've started the last much the same as they started the third. But as we've seen, it's not exactly about how you start, it's about how you complete the job. Here's McCain trying to cook on Wilson. Step back at the elbow is money. And Jared McCain's got 20. Johnson, he's not going to do it again, is he? Oh my goodness, he wanted a whistle. He didn't get it. And he is very unhappy. Oh, behind the back by McCain. He didn't want to shoot. He gave it off, and Gordon missed the three and let him down. It's going to be Sixer ball, though. Another bit of hustle by the Sixers is creating another opportunity for Philly. CJ is still yapping with the official. Geordie is yapping with the official. They wanted a whistle on that. Ball's going to be inbounded by Jackson on the baseline. They get it into Yabusele, who's back in. In for Drummond. McCain one-on-one with Schroeder. Screen set to free him up. He hits again from the same spot. He's got 20. Schroeder. High screen by Ben, who's also back in. Johnson gets by the closeout and scores for 2 this time. He's just got that balance. Mate, CJ is in the 30s again. Yabusele up top. Pass to Jackson on the wing. That 3, the Rainbow J is good. It ties it at 87. Another close game looks to be on the cards. What a surprise. Schroeder the drive. That's a tough angle. It's off. Wilson is able to save it before it falls into the backcourt. Johnson, 8 to shoot. Pass. I thought there was a travel. Claxton got hit. Lost the ball. He's out of the sequence. The Nets are outnumbered. It's another open look for Martin. He's short on it. But guess what? The Sixers are chasing up that fucking rebound. The Sixers want a challenge. The players on the court are adamant that that has gone off net hands. And it looks like we're going to get it. Just the carelessness on the box outs today have been... Like, that's how you keep shitter teams in the game. That's how you keep shit teams in the game. It's disappointing. That's what it is. Alrighty. If you are enjoying the stream, make sure to drop a like. Don't forget to do that. And subscribe if you are new. We'll be back for Nets versus Kings in a couple of nights. So make sure to tune in for that. We'll be covering, I think, every game of the road trip. Every game of the road trip. Where we travel to Golden State, Phoenix, and the Kings in 4 days. Tony, welcome to the chat. I'm sorry, I've not been looking at the chat because I'm just a little bit too focused. Okay. Alrighty. So 87 apiece. I really cannot work out which way this is going, and I also cannot work out who's got the upper hand here. But ladies and gentlemen, it's time to go to the florist, grab a set of flowers, and hand all your flowers over. Because Cam Johnson deserves them. 32 points. 1 rebound. 2 assists. We don't care about the rebounds and assists, though. Because this guy has hit 8 fucking 3-pointers. He's got 2/3 of our threes, and he's got 1/3 of our 2-point makes. It's sort of crazy to think, right? Cam Johnson, bro. 32. He's on track for 40. He's on track for 40. It's been the most effortless 32-point game I've seen since last game when he scored 34. Or whatever the figure was. For the Sixers, McCain's got 20. He's fueled the offense when Tyrese Maxey's off. But I would imagine down the stretch now, in the final 8 minutes, they're probably going to run Maxey the rest of the way. McCain's played 30 minutes. I think. Am I reading that right? 30 minutes. They're giving him full license. I mean, Johnson's played 29 minutes. Thomas has played 22. Clax has played 16. What the fuck? The game just disappeared and they got 2 free throws. I was like, where's the game gone? But now I'm like 15 seconds behind and I missed the free throws. 4 to shoot. The Nets. Oh my God. CJ! Are you kidding me? That's nearly logo territory. 9 threes. Oh, that is absolutely disgusting. Martin forced into a pass. Yabusele. I swear to God he traveled, but he blew the layup anyway. It don't matter. Ben's going to push it. Ride the hot hand. Ride the hot hand. Johnson. Oh, he's going to do it again. Nope. He's going to airball it. So he hit one from 30 feet, but he can't hit one from the corner. A stock standard corner 3. It's a 1-point lead. Jackson over Thomas. It rims out. And the Nets get the rebound, albeit unconvincingly. There's actually 6:30 to play. Next stoppage, which is right there, as the foul is called on McCain. I will update the clock. Mate, Cam Johnson, what the actual fuck? Pardon the language. But this is enough to make anyone go insane. Mate. 9 threes. 9. I don't think he's never hit more threes in a game. Here's Thomas. Cross. Ben rolls. Sets the feet. Watford blocked on a 3. He shoots that slowly. It was so easy to read. Ben goes all the way around. Didn't hit the rim. And the Sixers get the rebound. McCain the drive. Oubre picks up his dribble. Maxey's back in but playing off ball. McCain gets inside. Forced out. Maxey. McCain relocates. Gets inside. Layup is good. 91-90. We're past the halfway point of the last. McCain was just making his defenders defend, which is sort of the point, right? But he's constantly moving. Watford backs down Maxey. Blew the 2. Had the size mismatch, but Maxey held his ground. McCain? Oh, that's too much space. That is too much space. And a timeout's called. McCain is cooking. Ah, McCain, you've done it again. And in case, well, I imagine there's not too many Aussies in chat. But if you're an Aussie, you know that McCain is actually like a frozen food brand here. And the slogan is, McCain, you've done it again. And McCain has indeed done it again. So, the Sixers up by 4. Johnson keeps on adding points and is keeping me busy updating this player to watch line. Because he's got 9 fucking 3-pointers. But McCain is going head to head. He scored 25. Another 20-point game for McCain. I mean, I've got to give the young guy credit. I mean, he's not playing like a rookie at all. And so the Sixers lead by 4 and they're actually outscoring the Nets in the quarter. But this is why second chance opportunities were so important to not give up. Because, I mean, now they're making buckets, but when you had the chance to capitalize on the stops, you weren't. And it has us in this sort of a position right now where, you know, we're shooting what? We've shot 10 less shots than them. And still only the 7 free throws. So we haven't made a free throw in this quarter either. So that's a bit of a red flag. I'm not going to say it's a bit of a red flag. It is a red flag. Objectively, it is a red flag. Washington, amazingly enough, are going head-to-head with Boston. Which is sort of funny, I have to say. Alrighty. If you are enjoying, make sure to show your support and subscribe so you're notified of when I go live next, which is in a few days' time. De'Ron's buried the most threes in a game? Damn. Yeah, no, he may hit it. And especially with how close the game is, I wouldn't put it completely out of the question that there could be a bit of overtime. There could be some extra basketball on offer here. Depending on what the outcome is, of course. But 5.5 to play. Cam Johnson can definitely hit a couple three-pointers. Another 10-3 run. This time the way of the Sixers. We've had runs all game long. Thomas is heavily met with attention. However, that is going to only result in the ball needing to be re-inbounded by Schroeder. Why is Ben in the game? He's getting a fair few boos around here. Thomas lost his footing, bro. CT, man. You're just cooking. You're cooking us, bro. Fucking hell, 16 turnovers, and CT has just been an absolute turnover machine. Finney Smith may get a chance. The 3 is off. The rebound by the Sixers. We've got 5 minutes to play. Johnson is getting a short breather, but he's going to have to come back in real quick because Cam Thomas has been dog water for most of the game. Like, whatever shots he's making, he's just absolutely killing us up the other end. Or like he's cancelling it out. Maxey gets by Thomas. Finney Smith can't rotate across. And Maxey with the finger roll to get the lead up to 8. And this is a good margin to have at this stage. We feed Watford in the post. Finney Smith doesn't shoot the 3. They feed Watford again. On an island against McCain. Good turn. Gets the layup to go. That's smart basketball there by the Nets. Exploit that mismatch. Johnson and Claxton getting ready to come in. Maxey here on the outside is going to utilize that screen. Now the switch. Finney Smith guarding. 1-on-1. It's good defense. Oh my fucking life. How was he made that? 3:30 to play. The Nets aren't even going to get these subs. How is there not a foul in that, bro? Multiple bodies go down. That was collateral damage. Thomas could almost have given away an offensive foul there. Maxey's 3 was incredibly difficult. High degree. But yeah. This is where, as I said, you get cooked for the amount of second chance points you gave up earlier on. Thomas, drive in, moves inside. Good feed over the shoulder to Claxton, who's able to complete the play. 3:20 to play. 7-point game. Stops need to arise. It's not too late. A 7-0 run can happen in the blink of an eye, but it's got to start right here. McCain, 1-on-1 with Schroeder. Drive in, step back 2, and he gets the soft bounce. That is just tough. Tough. Thomas. Oh my fucking God, CT. Again, man. Another turnover. Bro, you have Cam Johnson on the court, man. Make some play designs for him. McCain, shifty move. That's going to be an offensive foul. Thank you very much. Schroeder puts his body on the line and McCain bowled him over. We're going to need to start making shots, though. I honestly would play Cam Thomas off ball down the stretch here. Because he's been fucking awful. Like, it honestly hasn't been worth... It just hasn't been worth it. I was trying to think of another word, but... Oh my God. Where the fuck did that come from? Geordie's going to call a timeout. I don't know how the hell that's a turnover. But another dunk for Philly. Another leak out. Maxey's going to... Well, he scored an easy 2. It's back up to 11. 2:27. I need to actually watch that back. Because I have no idea how that's happened. Whose leg has that come off? Just off absolutely nothing. Like 3 seconds into the clock. It's come off Claxton's leg. Off Claxton's foot. As he set the screen. You can't be fucking serious. It's just, what a waste of a performance for CJ, man. He's been brilliant. Been brilliant. And we haven't fed him the ball nearly enough. I mean, Cam Thomas has not shot the ball in God knows how long. And he's had 7 fucking turnovers. We've had 18 for the game. And we've had how many less shots? We've had 12 less shots. And we've made 1 less. Like, that's how you've lost the game, basically. That's how you've lost the game. Weren't we up 94-90? Or was it the other way around? 94... No. It's like some 11-4 run or some shit. Like, CT has been so poor. Like, I'm not discrediting him as a player. I'm just saying... I'm saying it how it is. Objectively, he's been garbage. In the last 7 minutes, we've scored 9 points and... We've scored 9, and we've conceded 25. Like, we were up 5. Amazingly, we brought Cam in and we fucked up. We got 4 to shoot. Johnson, guarded by Martin. He's going to have to put one up. And he somehow gets it to go through contact. Great persistence, but now you got to get back and play defense. The Sixers will hold the ball for as long as they need to. They'll use that full 24-second allotment. Martin gets inside. Skip pass. McCain is open. It's a practice shot. That should wrap it up. That should wrap it up. It's actually crazy how we've been played off the floor by Jared McCain. Claxton gonna dunk it down to cut it to 10. Maxey brings it up. Oubre gets inside. Martin, Maxey, Martin, we're just blitzing. Martin's got a 3, and he hits, and now they can't miss a shot, and that's going to call it. I don't know how many games the Sixers have lost in a row, but goodness me, this is sort of crazy, right? I didn't think we were going to lose by 13 today to Philly. Or be in this position this late. It's almost like we brought Cam Thomas back in and we've just died. Like, really, there's not many players that have rocked up today. Like, like we've had a few contributions, but nothing sizable. Claxton misses. Thomas with the rebound. He's going to shoot a step back 3, and it's an air ball. So the Sixers are going to hold, and Johnson is going to be called with the foul. And that probably is the cue that you wave the white flag and you call it a day. The fact that Cam Johnson has scored 35 of our points and we haven't even cracked 100 tells you all you need to know. And that's what I mean by players not rocking up. I wouldn't say we've played like... I don't think we've played with a lack of effort. I think we've just played with fucking carelessness and a lack of discipline. What the hell is that defending? They got one to shoot. Oubre puts one up and airballed it. And with 32 seconds left, the Nets will just run the clock out. But Cam Johnson, 9 threes in a game you don't even hit 100 points. That's fucking mental to me. Like, that is absolutely amazing. An amazing figure. And there's another turnover. Like, the Sixers have just played with this tenacity all game. They played hungrier. Yabusele is going to miss the layup and then tip it in for 2. And every point matters in this NBA Cup thing. It's not like we really give a shit. Johnson's going to shoot a 3 and airball it. And that's going to kill the stat line, isn't it? But are the Sixers just going to go for more points? I feel like they may. NBA Cup action. Maxey's going to go again. And miss. And a rebound. And that'll do it. 113-98 the final. And I'll tell you what, that blew up in our face pretty quick. What was the three-quarter time score? Like 77-79? Excuse me. The Nets end that game scoring 21 points in the fourth quarter. The Sixers, who had 79 points at three-quarter time, come out and score 34. That was always going to be the difference. If you could score more offense, because most of the game was defensively minded, it was more slated that way. If you could score 30 plus, you're probably winning the game. And the Sixers just blew us out of the water in that fourth quarter, ending the game with 34 in the fourth. And they win the game without Embiid and George. So credit to them. McCain and Maxey, great 1-2 punch for the Sixers. They were huge down the stretch. I don't know why the game's just like paused on my screen. Why does it keep doing this? This is so frustrating because I want to show the closing. I want to show the stats and then we can head off. If you are heading off, though, make sure to drop a like and subscribe so you're notified of when I next go live. Well, it looks like I can't even see the bloody box score, which is a bit of a disappointment, isn't it? Because it hasn't upgraded, or updated, should I say, for like 5 minutes. So you're just going to have to take my word for it in terms of what the box score says. The Nets, well, their three-point shooting has been so good for them in recent memory. But today we just didn't even give ourselves a chance to put shots up. I mean, Cam Johnson was 9 of 13. He hit 37 points. However, there were only 3 nets in double figures, and that was such a key reason as to why we won the other day. Because every man in the starting 5 hit double figures. Claxton had 12 and 8 off the bench, which I guess is a plus. But the big differences in this game, first of all, Maxey and McCain combined for 56 points. And they got all 5 starters in double figures. So I imagine that is something that hasn't happened for ages for them. They also had 13 steals and 9 blocks. 13 steals and 9 blocks is crazy. On top of that, they had 19 turnovers, or forced 19 turnovers in correlation with those steals. They had 15 offensive rebounds, and they had 13 more free throw attempts. You're not going to win games of basketball, simply put, if the opposition has those numbers in their favor. Like, they didn't even shoot the ball as well as us. It only beefed up towards the end, but they had 13 extra shots. Turnovers, I mean, they had 16 more points off turnovers. They had, amazingly enough, an equal amount of fast break points, which I don't believe, because the amount of leakouts they had was crazy. Points in the paint was actually pretty even though both teams didn't have a traditional center starting for them. And steals. We had 1 steal the whole game. 13 steals to 1. Like, that's mental. That really is mental. And that's why the game got away from us late, because we just could not stop turning the ball over. Credit to the Sixers for getting the W. They got some good contributions from their players. I wouldn't say it's a good loss. It's a loss, and for that alone, it's good. But the manner in which we lost is no good. Cam Thomas, I mean, he ends with how many turnovers? We had 19 in the game, and he ended the game with 7 turnovers. He had 7 assists and 7 turnovers. And I don't reckon he had a point. Like, since he went off in the third quarter for his breather, he did not score for the rest of the game, which is pretty awful if you ask me. I mean, amazingly enough, Schroeder was a +1 in his 34 minutes. Cam Thomas, a -10. Watford was a -21. So, yeah. It's sort of nuts how... I mean, you take the plus-minus with a grain of salt, because Cam Johnson scored 37 and was a -9. But he was on in those minutes where the game got away. So, overall, you got to be disappointed with the way that L happened. Every single, like, intangible value that you can sort of be in control of, and I'm talking like hustle, something as simple as hustle and boxing out and those sorts of things. Those things are in your control. I'm happy to lose a game, but if you do those things, and I imagine this is the mantra in the locker room as well, I don't think Geordie would stand for this. The minute you see these numbers, I'm talking the 15 offensive rebounds given up, the 28 points off turnovers given away, I'm talking the 19 turnovers, I'm talking the free throw number, like, those sorts of things, a lot of it's down to hustle, assertiveness, tenacity, those drive, you know, those little intangible figures you can't measure on a box score through numbers. They weren't there. They did not exist in this game for the most part. If it wasn't for Cam Johnson, I would struggle to see us crack 80 points. We would have gotten absolutely demolished. So, yeah, it's not ideal, I will say. And as far as what this, as far as what this means for the team going forward, I'm not too sure. Because Ben Simmons had another pretty ordinary game today. And you have more ordinary games with Ben than you don't. Like, for every good game, you may have 3 or 4 iffy ones. So, I don't know what that means for Ben going forward. I don't know how many games it's going to take before Clax gets fully immersed back into the rotation. And Dayron apparently is moving towards having, like, doing drills. So, that could be interesting. But I'm going to wrap it up here. So, we will be back for Nets Kings in a bit. CT had tunnel vision, just looking to score and not find CJ. Yeah, that's the key. I think he was getting blitzed, but he wasn't reacting to the blitz quickly enough, and he wanted fouls for a lot of the game. And obviously that frustration rubbed off onto his game and those turnovers. So, yeah. Ultimately, disappointing Al, but we will be back for Nets Kings. I'm interested to see how we respond to that game. I'm not sure about the Kings in terms of their team availability, because I know Sabonis and DeRozan were out for a bit. But with those guys back, it'll be an issue. It'll be tough to contain. But, I mean, we're just going to have to see this team perform, right? Like, if they play like they did today, they're going to get cooked. But, I mean, the Cam Johnson performances are a revelation, and it's good to see. So, let's hope that sort of sustains itself to a certain degree, because I know it's not reasonable to ask for him to score 30 a game. But anyway, we'll wrap it up here. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for joining. Drop a like on the way out. And yeah, that'll do it. Thanks. Have a good rest of your day. We will chat to you in a couple of days. But until then, have a good one. See you soon. Bye for now.